Hi there, welcome to No Nonsense Whiskey. My name is VinPF, and on today's episode we're doing another Whisky In, Whisky Out, this time for the month of August 2024. Before we get into it, the little bits of admin that we always do. First of all, Guard Whiskey t-shirts available on the links below. You should be able to go straight over to Teespring and grab hold of them. There's white and there's black, all the sizes, whatever. Go and get them, that'll really help the channel. And of course, as always, reviews will be in the links below if I've covered them already, and you can always skip ahead to the Whisky Outs or the Whisky Ins, depending on what you want to do. But as always, let's not waste any more time. We'll get straight into it, and we'll do a massive Whisky In this month. So yeah, the first thing to do then is say that August was my 8-year on YouTube anniversary, but it's also my birthday month, you know. So I tend to get some whiskey. So we'll start with those ones then. First of all, I got myself a Glen 12-year-old. So that will be, you know, all of these things will be covered at some point. So don't really know too much about that at the moment, but that'll be one to delve into when we get to it. I also got this, not sure how to say it. This is the Talisker, I want to say Port Ruighe? I don't know. That's the kind of thing I'll research by the time I actually cover it. But it's nice to have another Talisker in the house again, because it's been a while actually, and I really enjoy Talisker. Like the fact that they kind of ratchet up the ABV a bit higher than some other whiskies, at least anyway. Also, while I was browsing the supermarkets, I picked this up. This is the Glen Moray Twisted Vine Cognac Cask. Bit of a bargain. I think I was like 23 quid, 24 quid, something like that. Couldn't resist it. So I don't often buy supermarket whiskey anymore, is the truth of it all. I tend to mostly browse Master of Malt's deals, to be honest, and see what they've got going on when I fancy buying a bottle or two, which I'm going to have next month. I'm going to have a little delivery that's come from them. But yeah, so when I saw this in Morrison's for a yellow ticket deal, I was like, why not? We'll give it a go. I like Glen Moray. It's been ages since I covered a Glen Moray, so yeah, we'll get onto it. We'll give it a go. Now, here we have something quite special. This is a pair of Loch Lomonds, and these are the two new Barfly releases from Ruighe Aquavitae, of course. I'll go into these. I'm going to review these fairly soon, I think, so I'll go into the story behind these when I actually do it. But if you watched my live stream fairly recently, when I covered the V-Pub, I went into these with Ruighe in fairly great detail, so you can go and have a look at those. But this is a pair, a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old. In fact, truth be told, I bought, I forget which one now. I think the 12-year-old. I bought the 12-year-old, and Roy sent me the 14 as a thank you for, you know, everything, because we tend to collaborate quite a lot behind the scenes. All of the whiskey tubers do. So he was a bit of a gent about that. So thank you very much. But I'll get into that. There's not much of these left either, because I'll show you while we're on the camera. If I can get this off. I sent a bunch of samples out, so you can see. Look, I'm already pretty low. So the best course of action will be to do the review of that sooner rather than later, I think. The camera angle's not very good today, but it's there anyway. I need some extra room this time. Now this is a pretty cool one. I've got myself an Isle of Raasay Cask Strength. Again, I'll go into the story when I actually do the review of this, but a friend of mine went to the distillery and they were offering half price on distillery bottles at the time. So he gave me a call and said, would I like something? Of course, was the answer. So I got myself a bottle of this Cask Strength for about £32.50, which is stonking good value by any stretch. Actually, I think it's probably good value at its normal price point, but there we are. Okay, what else have we got here? Right, so you guys won't know this yet. If you follow me on socials and whatnot, you will. But the man, the myth, the legend, Mac from Campi Planet came to visit me fairly recently. And what I did was we wanted to cover things. We wanted to do a lot of content together, basically. He's sat in this room with me, and there'll be reviews coming. But one of the things that we wanted to review was Japanese whiskey, or Japanese influenced whiskey. So I reached out to my pals over at Master of Malt, and I said, have you got anything Japanese to send over? They must have caught wind that it was my 8th anniversary as well. So they actually sent me 2 bottles of astounding value. We've got here 2 independently bottled Japanese 21-year-olds. One under the Master of Malt moniker and one under That Boutique Whiskey Company. Both 150 quid, both blended Japanese whiskies, slight difference on the ABV. But me and Mac, we unpick these as best we can. I'm not sure when the video is going to come out of that, because what we've done with that is me and Mac have filmed a no nonsense whiskey style review. But Mac is going to do his usual vibe. He's going to do a separate video where he goes into it in a lot more depth, where he digs into the history about how he's going to guess where these are from, because I've got no idea. And it is guesswork, because even the guys at Master of Malt don't really know the origin source of these. But again, we'll go into that a bit later. So yeah, I'm not sure when that video is going to come out, but it has been recorded and it will come out when it comes out. You'll just see it drop one day. Next up then, we've got a Lakes Whiskymakers editions, and this is the Equinox. In fact, this actually just got delivered today on time of recording, which is interesting. So yeah, I haven't even opened this yet, haven't been able to try it, anything, so I don't know anything about this. But yeah, I'll be covering this one fairly soon, I think, because they sent me this. So when stuff gets sent over, I tend to bump it up the list a little bit. It's only fair, right? Last but not least, we've got a little pair of little wee bottles. So this came from my Summerton Club membership. You guys know I like my Summerton Club membership, and this is a one bottled exclusively for Summerton. They're just calling this the Summerton release, I guess, which is cool. This is Coastal Stone, I should say. Sorry, Coastal Stone, which is by Manly Spirits, which I thought was quite a funny name, because obviously it sounds like manly spirits, which in this day and age is probably not PC, you know. But there's a beach nearby, I'm pretty sure. I'll have to look into it properly. But basically where they are, they're like near Manly Beach. So they've called themselves that. Somewhat interesting. Now, because usually Summerton send over a full-size bottle, you know, a 700 milliliter in the UK. This is a half, as you can see. It's a little wee squat bottle. As a little bonus, they sent us a 200 as well of their Nor'easter, however, if that's how it's pronounced. So what I'll probably do is cover these both in the same video, because I mean, I could do a separate video for this, but I think it's probably best just to do it in the context of this together. Yeah, looking forward to trying these, because these are Australian whiskies, which I got for 50 quid. You know, banging. That's it for Whisky In. Pretty big month. What's that? 7 bottles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 11 bottles. I thought it was 7 for some reason. Bad counting. There you go. Whisky Out time then, and this one's a little bit less, but interesting nonetheless. But we tend to talk through these bottles a little bit more. So talking about Summerton, I've got a bit of a habit of killing an old bottle as the new bottles come in, and that's happened again this month. This is really old. This is the English Summerton release, so obviously from the guys at the St George's Distillery, aka the English. This was a stunner, you know, bottled in 2021, so I've had this sat on my shelf for a good old period of time, and that's because I absolutely fell in love with it right from the start. So I've been nursing this, but you know my rule: if it gets to below the label or anywhere near it, it goes in the kill queue. There's always in my collection of rotation, there's always at least one bottle that I am like actively working towards the death of. And then, you know, I don't force myself to drink it. If I fancy something else, I'll have something else. That's how it works. But there's always one that if I ever come in here and I'm like, oh, I don't really care what I'm going to drink, I just want to have a dram, it will always be that one that's first in the queue. That was this one this time, and actually a couple of them. So yeah, it's gone, much to my detriment. I heard that there might be some more of this knocking around as well, so I might be calling Dan to find out, because that was an absolute stunner of a bottle. Great choice. Next up, actually, talking of Summerton, this is a similar vibe. This is the Signal Hill Canadian. Actually, I will say, so I think I reviewed this quite positively, who I remember, because this was like, it was like 23 quid, but £26 delivered in the end. I picked this up originally because it came as part of my Whiskey Pioneer, which is a sample subscription. Every month you get a sample for 8 quid, I think it is, delivered. And it turned up with this one time. And as I always do with those samples, if I enjoy it, I'll Google it and I'll say, oh, what is it? What is this thing? It turns out that it was this, and it was so cheap. I can't remember the website I got it off. You'd have to go back and look at the video of this, which again links below, to find out. But I just bought it there and then, because I was like, it's a nice sweet Canadian whiskey. I don't really have much Canada stuff around, mostly because the Canadians keep it to themselves. But one thing I will say about this is it got more and more of a struggle the more I got down it. It was so sweet by the end, so sweet. And I, not to sound you know, a bit toffee, a bit above my station. But I ended up having far better whiskey on my shelf than this, so it kind of got it got passed over a lot, let's say. So it did take a concerted effort. I did have to pull it out of the shelf and go, do you know what? It's not worth keeping around. It was a cheap whiskey. It's not one of those ones where people come round, you wow. It's not my wow bottle. So I figured this would just have to go as a daily sipper in the end. Still, I'm glad I had it. Probably wouldn't buy it again, even as cheap as it was. Now, sad to see this one go. The Bunnahabhain 18-year-old. I got this for my birthday a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago. And obviously, you know, as with bottles like this room never sees daylight. It's got curtains that are always closed, nicely, you know, temperature controlled, whatever. So bottles in this room tend to last quite a long time, especially bottles like this, which are very rarely open. But when this started showing signs of getting, I mean, so you can see here, my rule of labels, it can't be a hard and fast rule, because this label is right down here. You can't really see this, but the thickness of the glass is there. So if I left it till there, that last little dram would sit in there for God knows how long. So you have to take that with a bit of a pinch of salt. So I probably just took this label here, you know, not this one, that's a bit too high, but this label, I think I took that as my reference point. And when it got down to that, it went into the kill queue. It got killed pretty quickly, actually, because, I mean, you can see here, there's a massive punt inside there. So it's, yeah, once it gets down there was only a couple of drams left. Anyway, really sorry to see that go. It was a fantastic dram. Well-aged Bunnahabhain is just unbelievable. And this would have been £100 back then. I'm not sure what it sells for now, but yeah, if I ever find myself in a situation where £100 doesn't hurt the bank, then I would probably buy it again, because it was, yeah, a bit of a stunner. There you go. That's my Whisky In, Whisky Out this month, which has been a pretty big one. The scales have definitely tipped in turn of increasing my volume of collection rather than decreasing it. But again, you know, you can actually get a sneak peek of what's coming in and out of my collection almost every time a bottle comes in, because I go on Whiskey Base, which again, there's a link to my profile in the description below. And if you're eagle-eyed and you can be bothered, you can go on there and check what comes in and comes out of my collection fairly frequently, I think, because it keeps a little ticker going down there. But yeah, let me know what you got in and what you killed this month. As always, I want to know. Let me know if you've got one of these shirts yet, because I'd love to see pictures rolling in, especially people that have bought them already. Hopefully you should start receiving them soon. Teespring aren't the quickest. But if you have, send me pictures of you wearing them, or post them on Instagram or whatever and tag me in it, because I would love to see someone wearing these in the wild, because I absolutely love the design of this. Really good. But yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again on more reviews coming soon. Cheers.